What's up, YouTube? It's Big Unks, BIGUNCS, coming at you with a movie review. Incarnate came out, I guess, last night. This is Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry, Friday. It came out today. Friday. Today is December 2nd, 2016. I saw it this morning in a matinee. It stars Aaron Eckhart, who's a pretty well-known individual. It was produced by Blumhouse and WWE Films, and as of late I've been kind of up on WWE Films. They just did that Christian movie, or so they did, yeah, it came out already, and they have another movie coming out that I was kind of, but then I read on this one that when they came in as one of the production teams, the first person they cast was Aaron Eckhart, who's the star of the movie, and he's in 90% of the movie. But the second person that they cast, and they put out a big, huge announcement about casting this person, was the wrestler Mark Henry, who, spoiler alert, is in the movie for 40 seconds. And he plays a security guard who I think his only line is, "Oh, you gotta go." He was the second most important person to cast in this movie. That they had to make a big, huge announcement about casting him. Incarnate is the story of a man who does exorcisms, but he doesn't do them religiously. He does them scientifically. He's not a big believer in the church and has a serious problem with religion in general. He doesn't want what he does to be claimed by any singular religion, so he doesn't work with churches for the most part. I'm trying to do this without doing any spoilers. It's actually a lot harder than you'd think. I know by the commercials and trailers I've seen, I was like, so certain things. A demon takes over a young boy, he's an 11-year-old boy, who lives with his mother after his parents were recently divorced because their kid's dad is a drunk. The story, to me, the story is just not put together really well, because in the story, Aaron Eckhart is in a wheelchair from a car accident. Right? They don't give us an exact timeline on how this works, but we see that he's done like 18, at least 18 of these. He calls them evictions instead of, because he doesn't do it for the church, so he doesn't do. And an individual that works for the Vatican makes a big deal about the fact that he's done 3 in 6 months. So if doing 3 in 6 months is a big deal, then we can guesstimate an approximate, how long it took him to do 18, So even if he did 3 every 6 months, that's what, no, it's the 6 times 3 is, oh my, 18 months. But, so, I mean, you're looking at, like, say, 2 years, because they made such a big deal, I'd say, so you're looking at, like, 2 years minimum that he's been doing it. And that's just the ones that we are aware of. So, he's been in a wheelchair this entire time, but he does. If you know somebody who's been in a wheelchair for a while, you know certain things happen to people that are in wheelchairs. You know, their hands, from doing all that, their arms get bigger, their chest, their shoulders get bigger from rolling around in a wheelchair all the time, and your legs start to wither away. It's just what happens physically to a person who's in a wheelchair. And they made no attempt at all to make Aaron Eckhart in any way appear like he's been in a wheelchair. I mean, I know people who've been who were in a wheelchair for like 3 months, and they were wearing gloves, and their hand get that thing, from doing this all the time. He never wore gloves once in this movie. His hands were perfect. It's just, if you're gonna do something, then do it. Don't half-ass it. That's all it is. It's just pure half-assing it. And it's just his office in this movie is on like the second or third floor of this building that has no elevator, right? So we're supposed to believe that he drags his ass up to the third floor every day, dragging his wheelchair with him. It's just so much stuff is not given any sort of thought. It's like I don't think that I'm the type of person who over reads into movies. I mean, if you present me with information and your information doesn't match the information you presented me with a minute ago, I don't think it's too much to ask, that if you have somebody who's been in a wheelchair for a minimum of 2 years, his body changes in 2 years. And if you have somebody who's been in a wheelchair for 2 years, he's not going to take an office on the second floor of a building with no elevator. It's not going to happen. No one would do that. How did he go up there the day with the manager to look at the place when he went to rent it? Oh, I'll be there in a minute. I'm dragging myself up the stairs and I got my wheelchair tied to my leg as I drag my... No. It doesn't happen. So he has his system to get into the mind of the person who's been taken over by the demon. That part is a lot like that movie with Jennifer Lopez, Cell. Is it Cell? No, Cell doesn't sound right. I'll look it up. But the movie with Jennifer Lopez, where she goes into the minds of children, and then the FBI uses her to go into the mind of a serial killer, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. And they do the first one, the one where they show us how it works. It's actually kind of cool the way they do it, and we get the full exposition. And that's when Mark Henry does his little security guard thing. But then the one that counts with the little boy, it's like, it's like they do it on purpose. Like they make such a big deal. You have to make the decision to jump. If you don't make the decision to jump, then it doesn't work. And then we flip over to the one with the little boy, and the little boy doesn't get to make the decision to jump, and Eckhart throws him. The thing is, in the movie, is that if you make the decision to jump out a window, you are admitting to yourself that this is a dream and it's fake, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So, in the first one that he does, so that we can see how it all works, he's like, you have to jump out the window, because if you jump out the window, you're admitting that this is a dream, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So then when we skip over to the one with the little boy, the window's there, he opens the window, he doesn't even tell the little boy to jump, he just throws the little boy out the window. Right? So immediately, I know that no matter what happens, we're still in the dream, because he didn't give the kid a chance to decide to jump out the window. So then we have to go through this whole thing where, oh yay, we're all saved. Wait, hold on a second, we're not all saved. Oh no. And and I mean, I'm sitting there going, yes, we all know you're still in the dream world, you know, because you didn't give the little boy a chance to jump out the window. So, I mean, I'm sure some people won't, you know, put those two together and recognize the fact. But so the whole, like, maybe close to the last 10 minutes of the movie, you know, I'm just sitting there going, waiting for the other foot to drop because the little boy didn't jump out the window. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's right, the little boy didn't jump out the window. Oh, no, the world's coming in. But it's like, I knew that 10 minutes ago. So, I don't know. And, you know, the people that Aaron Eckhart hires to be his assistants, it's just everything's like, I don't know, just everything's, there was nothing that fit in this movie. Just all off just a little bit. I mean, Aaron Eckhart's mentor has a warehouse, and in this warehouse he's built a vault to hold a person who's infected with a very powerful demon. And he makes such a big deal about, you know, I have him in this vault, and it has a window on the front of the vault, but the window's 4 inches thick. A rhinoceros couldn't crack it. But he's got all of this equipment where he's been like taking blood from this thing. It was like, well, the only way you can do that is you have to go inside. So it's like, as soon as they showed that, I was like, well, this guy's gonna escape and probably kill somebody. Hey, guess what happened? It escaped and it killed Aaron Eckhart's mentor. So, I don't know, just maybe I've just seen too many movies and nothing is new or surprising, or maybe screenwriters have just kind of given up and they're like, well, I don't know. I'm going to give this movie an overall D. Just bad. Not one. There was nothing in this movie that I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, wow, I never thought about that. Oh, I like the way they did that. Oh, that was original. It was not one thing. Not one thing. But I can't give a failing grade to any movie just because I know what's involved in making a movie, and it's so much work involved in making a movie that, you know, I can never give a movie a failing grade just for that reason. So, thanks for watching. Now go sit quietly in the dark.